The morning after their beautiful wedding in Cap-Haïtien, Renald wakes up to find his new bride, Aléna, gone without a trace. No note, no goodbye, no explanation. As he searches for her, he uncovers a past she never escaped, a danger she tried to outrun, and a man obsessed with owning her forever. Subscribe for more stories from Haiti Folktale, where love and destiny collide beneath the Caribbean sun. The first sunlight filtered through the white curtains of the honeymoon suite, stretching soft gold across the bed where Renald lay. His hand reached across the mattress, instinctively searching for the warmth of his new wife. But the sheets were cool. He smiled at first, eyes still closed, assuming she had risen early. "Aléna," he whispered into the quiet morning. No answer. He sat up, the smile fading into mild curiosity. Their wedding had ended just hours ago, full of laughter, music, dancing, promises, and tears of joy. They had spoken of waking up together, making breakfast, walking by the sea, savoring the beginning of forever. Aléna was not the type to vanish from a moment she had always dreamed of. Renald ran a hand through his hair and stood. "Aléna," he called again, voice louder now. Still nothing. He walked into the bathroom. Empty. He checked the balcony. The morning breeze rustled the sheer curtains, lifting them like ghosts. But the balcony was empty too, overlooking the quiet blue of Cap-Haïtien's coastline. Renald stepped back inside, the first hint of unease crawling into his chest. Her shoes were gone. Her phone was gone. Her wedding dress, folded the night before, was still on the chair where she'd left it. But her travel bag was missing, the small one she had packed with a silk robe and a few personal items. Renald froze. Something felt wrong. Not dramatic wrong. Not catastrophic wrong. But off, wrong in the way a silent house feels after a scream. He grabbed his phone and dialed her number. Straight to voicemail. He checked the door. It was unlocked. No sign of struggle. No note. No message. Renald tried to breathe. Maybe she went for a walk. Maybe she wanted to surprise me with breakfast. Maybe. He shook his head. No, Aléna would never disappear without a word. Not on their first morning as husband and wife. A tightness began to form in his chest as he replayed the night in his mind. She had been radiant, joyful, overwhelmed with happiness, but there had been moments. Little pauses. Small silences. Brief shadows in her eyes when she thought no one was watching. Renald had chalked it up to exhaustion, nerves, and the emotional weight of the day. But now, in the light of morning, those shadows felt like clues. He tried her number again. Voicemail. He checked the hallways of the small coastal hotel, asked the staff, even stepped outside to scan the quiet street. Vendors were just setting up in the square. Fishermen were returning from the sea. A young boy swept the hotel steps. "Did you see a woman leave here this morning?" Renald asked him. The boy shook his head. Renald pressed his palms to his knees and took a long breath. "Stay calm," he whispered to himself. "Find facts, not fear." He went back into the room and sat on the bed, staring at the empty pillow where her head had rested just hours before. A question formed in his mind, quiet, unwelcome, but persistent. Why would she leave on the first morning of our marriage? He reached for her purse on the dresser. Inside were the usual things: lip balm, compact mirror, perfume, hotel key card, tissues, but at the bottom, folded tightly, was a slip of paper. Renald unfolded it, his pulse quickening. It was a receipt from a phone kiosk. Timestamp: 5:12 a.m. Date: this morning. Renald felt a chill move through his body. 5 a.m. While he slept beside her, she woke up, dressed, packed, left the hotel room, called someone, and disappeared into the dawn. His knees weakened as he sank onto the edge of the bed. He tried to imagine her footsteps, her thoughts, her reasons. Had she panicked? Regretted the marriage? Been forced? Taken? Had something from her past clawed its way into their present? He stared at his wedding ring. "No," he whispered. "She loved me. I know she did." His phone buzzed. Renald snatched it, hoping it was her, but it was his cousin Marcel, calling to congratulate him again. Renald hesitated, then answered. "You sound out of breath," Marcel laughed. "First night that good, cousin." Renald's voice was tight. "Marcel, she's gone." Silence. "What do you mean, gone?" "I woke up and she wasn't here. She left before sunrise. I found a receipt. She made a call at 5 this morning." I don't know where she is. Renald, listen to me, Marcel said, his tone shifting to seriousness. Don't jump to conclusions. She might have gone to see someone, maybe family, maybe a friend. She would have told me. Unless she couldn't. Renald frowned. What are you saying? Marcel hesitated. Renald, you barely know her past. Renald stiffened. I know my wife. Do you? Marcel asked quietly. You met only a year ago. You two connected fast. You never talked about her previous relationships. You never met her father. You said her mother passed. And she never spoke about her life before moving back to Cap-Haïtien. Just think for a moment, maybe she was hiding something. Renald's voice dropped. I don't want to believe that. You may not want to, Marcel replied. But you might have to. Renald ended the call and stood there in the silence of the honeymoon suite, feeling the room change around him. The air felt heavier. The light felt colder. The bed felt emptier than any bed should feel. He replayed every detail of the past year in his mind. The way she avoided certain questions. The way she changed the subject when her past came up. The way she sometimes stared at the ocean with a sadness he couldn't reach. Renald clenched his jaw. No, he whispered. I won't let fear rewrite who she is. I will find her. He dressed quickly and left the hotel. His first stop was the phone kiosk on the receipt. The owner, a middle-aged man, nodded when Renald asked about a woman matching Aléna's description. Yes, she was here, the clerk said. Renald's hope spiked. She made a call. One call. Short. Then she left in a hurry. She looked upset. To who? Did you hear anything? The man shook his head. I don't listen to private calls. But, he paused. I saw someone waiting in a silver car across the street. When she left, she got into it. Renald's breath caught. Did you see the driver? No. Windows were tinted. Renald stepped back, mind racing. She didn't run alone. Someone picked her up. Which meant, this wasn't cold feet. This wasn't a confused bride. This was planned. The question became darker, heavier, sharper. Planned by who? And more importantly, was she running from Renald, or from someone else? Renald stepped out of the kiosk and into the harsh late morning sun, his pulse hammering beneath his skin. A silver car. A mysterious call. A planned departure. The pieces rearranged themselves in his mind, forming shapes he didn't recognize yet, and didn't want to. He walked along the busy street, scanning the faces of strangers as if one of them might carry the answer. Think, Renald. Start with what you know. He pulled out his phone and opened the last message Aléna had ever sent him. It was at 11:42 p.m., from the hotel bed beside him, while he was in the bathroom brushing his teeth. I love you. Always. Now those words read differently. Not a beginning. A goodbye. Renald swallowed hard and headed for the only place he felt he might find a real thread. Her mother's old house, the small place on a quiet street where Aléna had lived before the marriage. He had visited only twice. Brief meetings, quick departures. Every time, Aléna rushed him out before evening. At the house, he knocked twice. No answer. But the old neighbor, a gray-haired woman sweeping her porch, called out to him. You're the young husband, aren't you? Renald walked over. Yes. Have you seen Aléna today? The woman shook her head. Not today, but I saw her yesterday afternoon, before the wedding. She looked worried. Renald's brow tightened. Worried how? Like someone leaving something behind, the woman said. Like a person who doesn't expect to come back. Those words cut cold. Did she ever receive visitors here? Renald asked. The neighbor nodded. A man came a few times. Not recently, but months ago. They argued once. I heard shouting from my window. Renald's stomach tightened. Do you know his name? No, she said, but I remember his voice. Angry. Accusing. He said something like. She paused, searching her memory. He said, you can't just walk away from what happened. You owe me the truth. Renald felt the ground tilt beneath him. Another man. Another chapter. Another lie. Thank you, he whispered. As he turned to leave, the neighbor lowered her voice. Son, sometimes we marry a person's smile without meeting their scars. Renald nodded, eyes burning, and walked away. Back at the house, he searched for anything, letters, photos, journal pages, something that belonged to Aléna before him. At the bottom of an old dresser, beneath sheets and fabric, he found a small wooden box. Inside, a photograph of Aléna with a young man he didn't recognize. A folded police report. A key with a fading red ribbon. His chest tightened. He unfolded the police report. Date: 2 years ago. Incident: missing person, domestic violence dispute. Complainant: Aléna S. Suspect: name blacked out. Status: case closed. No further action. Renald felt something inside him crack. Aléna had lived through something she never told him. Something violent. Something serious. Something unfinished. He stared at the photo again. The man beside her had his arm around her with an intimacy that suggested a painful history. Renald set the picture down, knuckles white around the edges of the report. Aléna wasn't just a bride who vanished. She was a woman who survived something dark, and it had followed her into their marriage. He took the key from the box. On the back of the photo were 3 words, scribbled hastily in ink. Trust no one. Renald left the house, the key burning like a secret in his hand. Evening shadows stretched over the streets of Cap-Haïtien as he walked, knowing where he needed to go next. The police station. Inside, he asked to speak to the officer in charge of the 2-year-old case. After persistent questioning, an older officer with tired eyes handed him a single-page summary. I can't give you everything, the officer said. But I can tell you this. She was terrified. She tried to leave someone who wouldn't let go. The case was closed because she stopped cooperating. She wanted to disappear. Disappear? Renald repeated. Yes. She said she wanted a new life. A clean life. Renald's voice was barely a whisper. Did she mention a name? The officer hesitated, then leaned close and spoke quietly. There was a man. Obsessive. Jealous. Dangerous. She kept trying to break away from him. But every time she ran, he found her. Renald's stomach knotted. Is he still here? In the city? We believe so, the officer said. Though he went quiet. Until recently. Renald stepped back, pulse pounding in his ears. Recently. The officer nodded. Your wife filed a request to block someone's number 3 weeks ago. The same man. Renald swallowed hard. Aléna was not running from him. She was running from someone else. Someone who had now returned. Someone who picked her up at dawn. Renald clenched his jaw. I want his name, he said. The officer's eyes lowered. The name was redacted from the public record. But I will give you a warning instead. If she left to protect you, then chasing her without knowing who you're facing may cost you more than your marriage. It may cost you your life. Renald stared at him, unblinking. I don't care what it costs, he said. She is my wife. And I will not stop until I find her. The officer exhaled. Then start here, he said, sliding a note across the desk. A warehouse by the port. She was seen near it last week. If she was meeting someone in secret, it was there. Renald took the note and turned to leave. As he reached the door, the officer spoke again. Son, whatever truth lives at that port, you need to be ready for it. It might not be a truth you can love. Renald paused, then answered without turning back. I don't need it to be a truth I can love. I just need it to be a truth I can face. He stepped outside into the night. And headed toward the port. Night settled over Cap-Haïtien as Renald approached the old port on foot. The air was heavy with the smell of salt, engine oil, and rusted iron. Cargo containers stood stacked like silent tombstones, each holding secrets of people and stories that never reached daylight. Renald moved cautiously, clutching the small key he found in Aléna's box. This ends tonight, he told himself. Not with fear, not with doubt, but with truth, whatever it was. At the far end of the port, an old warehouse stood half abandoned, its walls bruised by time and salt. A single dim light flickered by the entrance. Renald's breath slowed. His heartbeat did not. He pushed the door. It creaked open. Inside, dust floated through beams of weak yellow light. In one corner stood a metal locker with a red ribbon tied to its handle, the same ribbon tied to the key in Renald's hand. Renald walked toward it, each step echoing through the warehouse. The locker door opened with a metallic groan. Inside were files, dozens of them. Photos, reports, printed messages, snapshots of Aléna from different months, different cities, with red ink circling her face. A surveillance file. An obsession documented. Renald's hands shook as he lifted a manila folder. Inside, the same photograph from her wooden box. The same man holding her. And a name. Maurice Delis. Renald's stomach twisted. Maurice. The man from her past. The one who would not let go. The one she had tried to escape. Renald barely had time to process the name when a voice echoed through the warehouse. I hoped you'd be smart enough to stay away. Renald spun around. Maurice stepped out from behind a pillar, dressed in dark clothing, a gun glinting at his side. His face was handsome but hardened, and his deep-set eyes carried a coldness Renald had never seen in another man. Renald's voice steadied. Where is my wife? Maurice smirked. Your wife? He shook his head. You married a ghost, Renald. A woman who never truly belonged to you. Renald took a step forward. Where is she? Maurice clicked the safety off the gun. Closer than you think. Farther than you can reach. Renald didn't flinch. Maurice continued. She tried to run from me. She thought marrying another man would erase the past. She was wrong. He moved closer. She knows the truth. That I loved her first. That she belongs to me. Everything she is, every tear, every memory, is mine, not yours. Renald clenched his fists. Love doesn't imprison. It frees. Maurice laughed. Cold, hollow. Spare me your poetry. Behind Maurice, another voice cut through the darkness. Put the gun down, Maurice. Maurice stiffened. Renald turned. Aléna. She stepped forward from the shadows, her face pale but determined. She looked at Renald, not with fear, but with apology, sorrow, love. Renald. I didn't want you here, she whispered. He said he would hurt you. Renald's voice softened. You should have trusted me with the truth. Maurice tightened his grip. She trusts me, he snapped. She always has. No, Aléna said quietly. I feared you. That's not love. Maurice's jaw twitched. Aléna continued, voice trembling but clear. I disappeared to protect Renald. To make you believe I would return to you willingly. But I was buying time, to find a way to end this. Renald stepped to her side. Maurice's eyes darkened. You think you can end me? No, Renald said. The truth will. Maurice raised the gun. Before he could fire, the warehouse doors burst open. Officers swarmed in, weapons drawn. Maurice froze, betrayed by his own arrogance. The older police officer from earlier stepped inside. You've run long enough, Maurice. Maurice's face twisted with rage as he was disarmed and pinned to the ground. His screams echoed through the warehouse. She's mine. She will always be mine. Renald held Aléna tightly. She sank against him, trembling. Maurice was dragged out into the night. The nightmare was over. Days later, on a calm morning at the same shoreline where Renald once searched with fear, he and Aléna stood facing the sea. Waves lapped softly against the sand. Boats drifted lazily in the bay. Aléna stared at the water, voice fragile. I never wanted to disappear from you. I only wanted my past to stop breathing down my neck. Renald nodded. Next time, we face it together. No more silence. She turned to him, tears in her eyes. If you still want me, after everything. He lifted her chin gently. Aléna, my love was never only for your sunshine. I love the storms too. Her tears fell, and he kissed her. Slow, steady, certain. Behind them, dawn spilled gold across the sea. A new beginning. Not one stolen by secrets, but one built on truth. The past had chased them. But justice had spoken. And now, at last, they could breathe. Together. Thank you for listening to another story carried by the wind and remembered by the land. If this tale moved your heart, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next story from Haiti Folktale, where love, memory, and destiny meet beneath the Caribbean sun. Until next time.